because I want to take all of them, like every single one of them. My day in Brownsville, it was horrendous. Kennels were overpacked, more packed than I've seen in a while, and I think it's because there was a lot of flooding there recently, and the shelter manager hates euthanizing. Bless her heart, I totally get it, but they have no place to put them. So we were down there, and I had to do my best to just, you know, kind of triage everybody and make sure, you know, I took the ones that I thought I could help, and then I took some that I knew were not going to do well, just to try to get them out of there. The other two shelters, by the time that we left Brownsville, we were pretty much full. So then we went to Mission, Texas, and took as many as we could fit in the van. And then I had one that I had pre-tagged at Palm Valley. I only had one crate left, so that was the only one that I could take from there, even though their shelter was equally packed. So it was a really, really hard day for me to leave all of those dogs behind. So Johnny and Crystal are both vet techs who came with me, and I know them just through my travels being a rep in the animal health industry. All of the dogs that we bring into our program need additional testing. So it makes a lot of sense to have two technicians down there drawing blood, testing, marking on their paperwork who has it. So if they have been exposed or they're showing any kind of symptoms, then we can start treatment immediately. This particular trip was a little bit harder because anytime the shelters are overpacked, I have a hard time. And they're always packed and there's always dogs I have to leave behind, but it just seemed like this time, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I left there feeling like I had a spoon trying to empty the ocean. You know, I took the ones I could, but the majority of them I had to leave. I do my best to try to pick the ones that I can help, but I have a passion for helping sick animals and injured animals, so I can't overload myself or people that help me by taking too many of sick animals, or we would get no work done here. So that's what's hardest for me, is seeing a sick animal, knowing they've had a horrible life down there, and then knowing that they're probably gonna die right there and then with not having anybody who's ever loved them, and that's all they've known in their life is abuse and neglect. So Uno, I had to name her Uno because she has one eye. Unfortunately, she was found wandering around with her eye hanging out. When we got her, they had removed the eye. I guess it was at a point where it came out. And so I took her. She looks to me like she's very, very pregnant. And then there's Juliet. Juliet really bothered me because she's a little cattle dog mix, but she's got a huge wound on her shoulder. Looks like maybe like road rash, like she was drugged by a car or she was hit by a car. Let me just tell her she's gonna be okay. This is Juliet. I had the biggest smile on my face when they told me I could take her, because originally they said no. But you can see she's got a horrible wound. She had only been at the shelter for 48 hours and she needs to stay for 72 before she can go to rescue. But due to an open wound and it all up into her jaw area, they allowed me to take her. So I got her back here and cleaned her up, and she does have a tick illness. So whoever had her has not taken care of this dog in any way, shape, or form. So the fact that I didn't have to leave her down there, I was so happy. Bingo and Zina. So they're two little peanuts that when I went down to Brownsville, Zina has just got one of these personalities. She's a warrior, you know, as you can just tell. She's tiny with a huge personality, but when I looked at her, I could tell she was very congested. But the coughing was starting to get me a little worried, because if the shelter hears that, they go immediately back to euthanasia. And then Bingo, the same thing. When I passed by his kennel, that little dog looked at me, I mean, like right through me. And I heard the, you know, and I knew he'd be next to go down because of that. So I took both of them, and I'm gonna pray that they don't have anything deadly and that they are able to get better. I have to see if I have room for how many mamas and babies. I know that one is killing me, Johnny. All her babies are on top of her, like all over her. This mama dog had all her babies in the shelter lying on top of her because they were cold, or you can tell they're sick. They're not doing well. It was just sad. You know, they're all clinging to their mother. She's doing her best to take care of them in not good conditions. I'm looking at what I've got at the rescue right now and what I have room for, and it's not matching up with what we're putting on, and I don't have the heart to take them off the van, and I'm not. And I don't have room for all these mamas and babies, but I cannot leave them here, so I'm gonna start making some phone calls to see if I can find some people to help me fostering, because there's just, I can't, I don't have room. I don't have room. When I went in there, I noticed all the babies looked ill, and then they said, no, she's being euthanized. They actually were bringing the cart up to put them in. I said, no, let me see what I can do with them. There you go. That's where she wants to be. So when we transported them, we had to wrap the crate in a sheet. Actually, Johnny, the vet tech, did take a couple of them home that were looking really, really, really bad. We're gonna give them the best chance that we can. But when I see mamas and babies like that, it just, you know, I'm a mom. I can't even imagine trying to take care of babies under those circumstances. The intake process is crazy times 10. I have 49 dogs that came in yesterday, and I have 20 more coming in.
The new strain of pearls that arrived, we unloaded them last night, and I was amazed at how small they were. You fit 2 in the palm of your hands, and it was probably the biggest litter of puppies we've seen here yet. The next 3 or 4 weeks here at Tracy's Dogs include us just watching everyone, making sure no one gets sick. Because a lot of these illnesses, they won't pop up until a few days after, because they get them from the shelter.
Sydney and Charlie have been a huge help to me today. So I've been going through the paperwork, and as I fill out everybody's records, anybody missing things, they're right on it and go make sure that everybody is getting what they need. So it's truly a blessing. Unfortunately, it's been one of the hardest months in all the years I've been doing this. When we went down to Brownsville to pick this group of dogs, I think we let our hearts win the battle over our heads this time, and we pulled too many, we just pulled too many dogs, and we've had a lot of illness. So this is a smaller group of dogs going because we had a smaller group available for adoption because of the amount of illness.
It is Departure Day. We are headed to Indianapolis, and we have about, I think we're at 33 dogs that we need to get loaded up on board. It's a little bit smaller transport than we're used to.
But Indy is very well placed geographically to places like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, of course, but even people from the South. It seems like it's a very central location for us, and so we'll get probably people from 10 or 12 different states coming to Indy. It's a fun place, it's a great city, easy to get to, second shortest trip I make, so we love going to Indianapolis.
This trip every month with our dad, it's a fun trip, especially because it's Jenna and I with our dad, and so it's kind of like a little family vacation for us. Not that it's a vacation, because it does get really difficult taking care of all the dogs on the transport. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's a really fun trip all in all.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna smile really, really big about Tucker. So Tucker came in a couple months ago, but unfortunately got very, very sick with a virus that is the worst virus a dog can get, which is distemper. Everybody here, our hearts sank into our stomachs. We just said, oh gosh, we cannot give up on him. And he made it. And so he does have a little bit of a head tick and a little jaw tick associated with him. It does not in any way inhibit him from doing things a normal dog would do. He's a lab, he's just this just wonderful, even-tempered, sweet, gentle soul. Liberty was actually turned in to a veterinary clinic, absolutely bald from head to toe with mange. And the owners requested for her to be euthanized because they were not willing to spend a very minimal amount of money to clear this up, which is a very, very easy condition to clear up. So our vet gave her one pill, about $30, so she is as good to go now. And she's a beautiful German Shepherd with a great temperament, and she's getting a home now that is gonna love her. So Farah is a golden retriever, and for the life of me, when you meet this dog, she reminds you of Mary Poppins because she's about as pure and perfect as they come. I don't know how a dog like this would end up in one of the worst kill shelters in our state, but she did. And so she's getting a wonderful home with children, a mom and dad that have had Goldens in the past. And I cannot, tell you how happy I am for her. Slinky has been here for a long time, and everybody here loves him. He's one of those dogs that just wants to be close to you, loves everybody. So he's been here a little bit longer than normal, but that always means something good is coming for them, and it has. So he's getting to go home too.
This drive will be similar to every other drive, just smaller, and that will make potty breaks quicker. That'll make cleanup quicker. That'll make our travel, honestly, this transport, it'll be a lot easier on the crew. But we expect to have puppies that will do what they do in their crates, so there'll be a lot of that cleanup. We have 6 puppies that were very, very popular, real cute dogs, high demand dogs, but they're 3 months old. And when they're in a crate for that long, they will keep us working the entire way.
We look at it as, yes, only 33 are going and we have so many left, but they're just waiting for that perfect someone for them that thinks they're beautiful, that thinks they're awesome, to find them. And it does eventually happen, even though it might take a little longer than some of the others.
On the next episode of Dog's Journey Home.
We're coming to you live from Indianapolis. Say hi, Scott.
Howdy gang, hi in Indianapolis. This is Jewel.